Carl, we get to call John Rostine a friend of the program now because last week he followed Sleepers and Riley and myself after a segment we did on one of his segments on his podcast. So shout out to friend of the program, John Rostine, one of the GOATs in college basketball media. Rostine had another segment of his. I think this was on his podcast yesterday on the full episode, but there's a clip I saw on Twitter of him discussing BYU and the biggest element for this team that he feels no one's talking about. I'm going to play a clip of it, and then we'll add our thoughts after. Here's John Rostine.
Richie Saunders, a proven commodity in all Big 12 first-team player, is a forgotten piece for the Cougars when people are talking BYU basketball entering next season. And this guy wasn't just somebody who was returning from a Sweet 16 team. This guy was a technician offensively in the NCAA tournament. 3 NCAA tournament games for Saunders, 22 points a game, 25 of 42 from the field, 5 of 12 from 3, and was just an unbelievable offensive player last season. Made 79 threes, shot over 42% from 3, and make no mistake about it, next season, Richie Saunders will be an all Big 12 first-team caliber player, and I think a real candidate to be a first, second, or third-team preseason All-American.
I'm going to stop it right there. Shout out to Rostine. Go listen to his full episode. There's much more on BYU. He goes on to say, basically, AJ Debance gets the notoriety. He's likely going to be the number one pick. He's the buzz. He's the reason we love this team. Rob Wright could be an All-American next year. He's that good. But Richie Saunders isn't getting the praise he deserves. He is the quote-unquote forgotten piece. And Rostine, I think, without saying it, is saying that Richie Saunders will be the best player on this BYU team. Because at the end of this segment, he gives his first team all Big 12 projections, and Richie Saunders is the only lock on that team per John Rostine from the BYU Cougars. Do you think that there's truth to this? Do you think that Richie Saunders is the forgotten piece for BYU next year?
Are we supposed to approach this as like he's directly speaking to us in this case?
You can approach it however you want, my friend. Do you?
Uh, I'm trying to locate who he's talking to because of who forgot about Richie Saunders. Are people forgetting about him? Did I miss that?
I think people are, or maybe just he's not getting the headlines, right? This is AJ Debance's BYU. This is, I don't know, it's the as Rostine calls it, Portal Combat. Rob Wright was like the flashy ad here. Have you seen Dominic Diamande's dunks? Oh my gosh, like all these new fun things.
That's where Richie Saunders thrives, though. He had a chance to go to the. I think it said a lot about him when he decided he wanted to play for BYU again instead of following Mark Pope. I think he enjoys just being a BYU Cougar, playing basketball for BYU, and he is one of the best players on BYU. He's the second best player on BYU behind AJ Debance. And the first team All Big 12. Also, was he first team All Big 12 last year?
Whoa. Wait a second.
What?
He's what?
He's the second best player on BYU.
And you said you couldn't find who was sleeping on Richie Saunders?
He ain't the best player on BYU.
You got a mirror in there?
He ain't the best player on BYU.
Do you have a mirror in there?
Stop. AJ Debance.
You need to go listen to John Rostine's full segment. And you need to have a conversation with yourself.
No,
you are exactly who he's talking to.
No, because now I got to do this again. Once again, it has become fun to act like AJ Debance is not AJ Debance. Being the second best player next to AJ Debance is not the worst thing in the world. It just means that you're not the first draft pick. You're not a top 3 draft pick.
He might be the first draft pick. I don't think he's going to be a better college basketball player next season than Richie Saunders.
I disagree.
I mean, there could be some precedent from this with past one and done freshmen. Like AJ could be awesome. I think Rostine's right that Richie is more likely to be a first team All Big 12 player than I think a freshman AJ Debance is.
Oh, maybe he is talking to me then. I disagree. 100% disagree. And that's
Okay.
and that's why and that's while respecting Richie Saunders for being as good as he is. It's just AJ. It's levels. AJ Debance is AJ Debance.
I mean, Richie Saunders was arguably the second or third best player in the Big 12 last season. So
Second or third.
what do you think he is this year? I assume if you've got Debance ahead of him, you've got Darren Peterson ahead of him.
Yeah, probably third. Yeah, third.
So you're just putting two freshmen ahead of Richie, and then that's it.
Yes. Oh yeah.
All right.
I mean, those are two. I think those are two players that are just going to have incredible seasons.
So I guess the spin on this is this. He's not forgotten because you're not forgetting him. He's just being disrespected because you're disrespecting him.
Is that disrespecting him?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Because inherently, I feel like if you do that, you're disrespecting AJ Debance,
oh, I kind of like that spin.
which is like it has like somehow evolved to the point where it is like fun or like cutesy to like act like we don't have AJ Debance.
Yeah, here's my issue. This video is brought to you by NBA2K Lab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. 20 games in the Big 12 last season without looking it up because I know you like to cheat things just like I do. What was Richie Saunders' numbers? Points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage.
I mean, he was incredible. He probably averaged
20,
6.
20 Big 12 games.
Oh, in the Big 12?
Just in conference, he played 20 games, started all 20, played 32 minutes a game, never came off the floor. Points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage in 20 games in the second best conference in the sport.
18, 4, and 3 on 48 from the field and 40 from 3.
18, 5, and 2, plus a steal a game, on 52% from the floor, 45% from 3. That was 20 Big 12 games. Like that, I think it is completely lost how good he was last season, truly. And I think Rostine is right. And I don't like. I see your point. I get it. If we're just doing who's a better basketball player, it's probably the guy who's going to go number one in the draft. I got no issue with saying that out loud. But if you think for 1 second there's even a chance, a minor chance, that AJ Debance will replicate Richie Saunders' numbers of what he did in conference play last year in his 1 year in college, I think you're wrong. I don't think any freshman has ever been that efficient. At least not a score first wing. That's not AJ's game. So, and that's not to say he won't impact the game through other things and help BYU. He doesn't need to be Richie Saunders. But the point is this. Richie was so much better than anyone, even you or I, realized last year. And getting him back is insane. And it's not really been talked about. It's not being viewed the way getting Todd Pettiford back was, or getting LeBaron Philon back was. Maybe Richie Saunders should have dragged this out further. Maybe he should have gone through the combine, waited 2 weeks, and said, I don't know. Like, maybe we would all view this differently. But instead, it's kind of just like, yeah, he's good. He's not AJ. AJ can't replicate that efficiency on that volume. And if he does, BYU is going to go undefeated next year.
You can replicate those numbers.
Not on 52%, 45% from 3. That's absurd.
But he could average 18 with 8 rebounds and 4 assists.
Could happen.
And the
Maybe
percentages may not be that far off.
if they both average 18 a game and Richie Saunders is more efficient, who's the better player next year? Because this
If
is a high bar. If you're saying AJ DeBance is going to clear Richie Saunders next year, you need to have him in the 20s, and you need to have him not be like 40% from the floor, 33% from three.
Yeah, Debanza can do that.
What's he going to do then? What are each of these two guys' numbers going to be in order for AJ to clearly be better than Richie Saunders next year?
So looking on last year's team, first of all, though, like, tell me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Richie was incredible? Like, wasn't a lot of stuff for Richie to do that?
I think it still will be.
Like paired next to Yegor, paired next to Mawat Mag and Keba Keita and other player Dallin Hall. Like, I feel like he was very much looked at as the guy to do so, and he did do so. So this is not to discredit it whatsoever. But I think there will be a shift given who else is on the team.
Yeah, I think they came into last year thinking it was Yegor that was the guy to do so. The reason everything shifted and the reason BYU season took off like a rocket ship is because Richie Saunders was so good they had to change their whole team.
Mm.
And I think that might happen again. Except the difference is this. I don't think they're coming into this season thinking it's AJ DeBance's team. I think this is Richie Saunders' team. And
Oh yeah, they're gonna say that. They're gonna say that.
I would bet you game one, Richie is the
Nah.
featured guy. And I think that's what's best for BYU also.
Oh, you think the best version of BYU is Richie Saunders is the best player?
I think Richie Saunders should be trying to build on what he did last year and possibly even exceed it, which is something I don't think freshman AJ DeBanza can replicate. And I think it's not as similar to Yegor because AJ's way better than Yegor. But freshmen have growing pains, even the best ones. Everybody last year did. Dylan Harper did. Ace Bailey did. They all do. It is best if you're trying to win basketball games to have those guys not be the centerpiece. Have them be a running mate, whatever. BYU has a centerpiece that you can win a title with, truly. And if they deprioritize him for the freshman, it has to mean one of two things. Either AJ's that good and that efficient that you do what you did with Richie last year. You say, oh, we got to move stuff here. Or I think you might be misguided if you come into a season any other way. Which is Rostine's point, by the way. Back to the original thing. Like, I think Rostine's point is everyone's talking about AJ like he's the guy here. Whoa. The guy is the guy that they had last year that's still here.
Fair. Fair by JR.
You just completely disagree.
Yeah, just let's stop. It's AJ DeBanza and it's Richie Saunders, man. Like, and I love Richie Saunders, but it's like
So disrespectful from you.
it's not disrespectful, man. It's AJ DeBanza we're talking about here.
Yeah, and the disrespectful part is, and it's Richie Saunders.
That's part of it.
What does that mean?
It's AJ. It is the possible 1 or 2 NBA draft pick.
Richie would have been picked this year.
Where
Late first.
AJ DeBanza could never.
Okay.
So it's like
This isn't an NBA draft show.
hey, you're right. You're right.
Like shit, should BYU want Kasparis Yakashonis next year instead of Richie Saunders? He's gonna be a top 5 pick.
No, not necessarily. No, is Kasparis gonna be a top 5 pick?
Yeah. You want Zachary Reese-Hachet or you want Richie Saunders?
I have to think about that.
I stand with Rostine. This is my takeaway from this. Rostine,
I see that.
he was talking to you.
Yeah, I don't stand with JR.
That whole cute little, like, let me look, who's he talking to? I love Richie Saunders, followed by 20 minutes of Richie Saunders disrespect.
I didn't know calling Richie Saunders the second best player on a team with AJ DeBanza was disrespecting him. But if it is, then I guess I am.
Absurd disrespect.